Hey, good morning, YouTube. I had a little problem in my vehicle last night, my F-150. When I was pulling out of the driveway, I found that I have a little dip between me and the street. And when the front wheels went through that dip, something started making a loud noise. And it freaked me out for a hot second. And so I looked to make sure I was still in gear, still in reverse. I was. Put it into neutral real quick. The noise kept on going, and then I realized that the noise was coming, hopefully you can see this, from right under here. So I immediately turned the blower motor off on the AC. I just turned the power off to the AC, noise went away. And I heard a clunk over in that part of the vehicle. So I was, I'm going like, well, what the hell? But obviously with the noise going away, there's a problem with the blower motor. So today, I'm gonna have to get in there and figure out what's going on with that blower motor. Now, like in other people, they've had issues with the wiring harness to the blower motor. And I've got my my trusty fix-all tool, right, with me in the vehicle, because it was just perfect for reaching over there and tapping on the bottom of that. And so I may have caused whatever, more likely I caused whatever problem is going on over there. But this morning I'm gonna go ahead and try to fix that noise. But I will let you listen to it. So if it's happening to you in your F-150, mine's 2013, then you will hopefully be able to figure out what's going on with it. So let me do this real quick. So I'm in central West Coast Florida. In the summertime, you don't want to be driving around without AC. I don't see how people do it, but I know people who do this on a daily basis. I think they're crazy. But if I don't fix this, well, I can run the AC on very low, which is not going to do much in the middle of the day here. Right now, in the morning or in the evening time, it's fine. But at noon, no. I'm rambling on. But I'm gonna run to the I'm gonna run to AutoZone real quick and pick up a 5/16, one of those ratchet box end wrenches, and because the back bolt is pretty hard to get to, and you can only turn it a small amount, and instead of having to take it on, put it on, turn it, take it up, put it back on, turn it, I'm going to get one of those little ratchet tools. Luckily for me, AutoZone is like a half a mile away, so if I need to run there real quick, it's an easy, trot down the street. So as soon as I get back, I'm going to park it over by the garage, and we're going to try to rip this thing open. So stay tuned. So what you got to do is you're going to have to pop out this cover in order to get to the AC blower motor. Then you got to get these two little holders out. So come in here is my little tool. Pop that one off. These things come off super easy, but you don't want to break them either, because you want to reuse them. There you go. That's out of the way. Let's see now what I'm trying to get to. Just move this. What I'm trying to get to is this piece right here. That's the motor. That's what needs to come out. And there are 3 bolts. There's one right here. It's easy to get to. You can see it when you get down here and looking up, leaning in the door. One here, there's one behind it, and there's one up here against the wall. The one up against the wall. The one up against the wall is the most difficult to get to. Okay, so you can see I got it out, and this is more than likely what's making the noise in there. At least I hope. But now the question is, where the hell did this thing come from? I'm gonna have to figure out what that is. But a little bit of trash, but I've seen people with a whole bunch of crap inside that blower motor. I don't get it, but still, it's rubber. This thing is a pain to get out because you think you're gonna break it. I thought it was metal, but it's hard plastic, so it'll deform as you're trying to get it out. And this is the way that it's going to go back in there. This little port right here. This little port right here matches up to a portion underneath there. You can see it when you get underneath it. So all the bolts line back up. The bolt on the outside wall was the one that was the hardest to get out. It wasn't difficult the way this one is set up, but these two came out. This one obviously in the front came out very easily. This one in the back takes a little bit of time to get to, but this one is, you got to get in between all the wires and the wall. You can see that I just ended up taking the plastic pieces out to get a little more room in there. But the bolts came out pretty much easy. Not as hard as other people were making it out to seem. Then again, other people didn't even mention it as being a problem. So I hope that's the problem. So I'm gonna put this back in there. I'm gonna fire it back up and see what happens. So one electrical connector down here I just stuck in the back here for now, just to get it out of the way, and I'll hook that back up once I get it back in there. So now, once again, when pulling this out, it drops down. Let's say that this is inside. It drops down to about here, and then you're going like, how do I get this out? Remember, this is plastic, and it deforms enough for you to just bend it and pull it out. So I'm going to have to do the same thing getting it back in there. So you're not going to break it. I thought it was metal. All right, so here's the motor back here. Got it back in. Right there. Got it back in. It went in a little bit harder than it came out. So if you remember when I had it out, I had this little port on the edge. I had the, I don't know what you call it, rounded off rectangular port that I guess feeds air into this thing. I'm not sure. Or out. I don't know how this thing works. Probably out. But that's got to go up in the position that it comes out, where it is. If you push it down, if you try to twist it in the bottom portion, it's not going to work out very well for you. So kind of put it back in so it just slaps right up there. You don't have to turn it once you get it in there. I was trying to turn it in there. That wasn't working. I finally got it in by having this little port that's right here go right up there with it. It extends off the edge of the motor and right up here. So I'm gonna go ahead and start the vehicle and then turn the AC up, and let's see what happens. Let's see if this works. Here goes nothing. All right, that's all the way up. And you can see that sound is gone. So that's a problem fixed. For a $5 wrench, that worked out pretty well. But if you have one of those bendable extensions, that might work better for you. I've got a few. Don't ask me where they are. All right, so like I said, it's Florida. You can already see, got my work clothes on. I'm already soaked. It's 9 o'clock in the morning here. Humidity's humidity is just brutal in the summertime. But I live here for the winter. The winters are great. And so, just a little cleanup. Put these little plastic pieces back together. And then that's a problem that's solved. Didn't pay any money to a mechanic to have it come out here. I heard some people are paying $80 to have that done. I spent $5 and an hour of my time. So if you liked the video, leave comments, leave a like. If you want to subscribe to the page, there'll be videos on here every once in a while. I'm not trying to make a living doing this. Just anything that goes wrong with this vehicle, I find out they're common with other F-150s. Which is a good thing. I don't like to have vehicles that have their own problems. I like vehicles, well, I don't like vehicles that have problems, but they're vehicles, they're mechanical, they're going to break down. Until next time, thanks for watching. Alright, so the first test ride after I've fixed the motor fuel level, fixed the AC blower motor, or got that little piece out of it. Initial is that when I put the system on max, and let's hope we're getting that right there, when it's on max and all the way up, the fan is turned all the way up. Let's see if it comes on the screen. It's not popping up right now. But when I turn it all the way up, I'm getting a lot more force out of the vents now than I was before. I've always had to complaint when I'm up with my buddy, his truck is cooling off real quick or getting really cold, and I'd always say his AC is working much better than mine. Mine worked well enough that it wasn't a problem, you know, but it wasn't blowing real hard, so usually I'd shut off the other vents and then just have the two that are on over here in front of me. But now I've got 3 of them opened up and it's blowing pretty hard. So if your truck, your F-150 or any vehicle, your AC is not, it's blowing cold, but it's just not blowing hard when you got it all the way up, maybe you need to check out that blower motor and see if something's in there. Now, you see what happened right there? It just shut off. That's that wiring harness that I was telling you about. And so, for everybody who's watching now, get my trusty tool out. I'm gonna reach over there where the motor is, and bam, I just barely touched it, and it kicked back on. So I guess the wiring harness is the next thing I'm gonna have to deal with on this thing. But I'm lazy. As long as the hammer still works, I'll probably keep on going with that. When it stops working, a couple months from now, winter time, when it's not hot out anymore, then I'll probably deal with that. So that's the update that'll be in this video. That the AC blower motor is blowing harder than it was before I took it out and found that piece in there. I don't know, doesn't make any sense to me, but alright, once again, like the video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you want to see more content on the F-150. Like I said, it'll be every once in a while, but I usually just put up things I need to fix on the vehicle or change about the vehicle. Until next time.